My child, you are not here by accident. Let that settle for just a moment. Out of everyone who passed through this space without slowing down, you slowed down. Out of every voice competing for your attention in this moment, something in you recognized mine. That alone sets this moment apart. You may look at what you just did and see nothing significant, just a small pause, just a brief decision to stay. But heaven does not view it that way. If you could see even a fraction of what just aligned around you, because you chose to remain, your heart would grow still, with something close to wonder. What appears ordinary from where you stand is never ordinary to me when it is offered with an open heart. Listen carefully to what I am saying now. I am not raising my voice, because truth does not need volume to carry weight. I am speaking clearly, because this moment is one that matters. Most people move past my whispers without realizing they are there at all. Not because they are hard or indifferent, but because they are exhausted, pulled in too many directions, and the noise around them has become so constant that stillness feels unfamiliar. They rush through moments that could have changed the direction of everything, and they never find out what they left behind. But you didn't rush. You paused. You stayed. And because you did, the road ahead of you is standing at the edge of something different. You may not feel the shift yet, but something has already moved, simply because you were willing to listen. Beloved, you are in a rare position right now, not by luck, not by some fortunate accident, but by design. I directed your attention here. I gently held your focus. Others passed by without knowing what was being quietly offered to them. But you remained, and remaining always changes something about what comes next. Staying is not a passive thing. Staying is a response. It is a yes that rises from somewhere inside you, before your mind has even caught up to understand it. Do not leave right now. Do not convince yourself you will return to this later. Later is not always available in the way you assume it will be. Sacred moments do not always arrive, wrapped in signs that are impossible to miss. Sometimes they come softly, asking only for your attention. What you are positioned to receive right now carries the power to shift the direction of your life, not through force, but through alignment, because you are here. Everything that follows this can be different. You may find yourself wondering why this feels significant, even though nothing visibly dramatic has occurred yet. Let me explain that to you. Your life is shaped not only by the largest choices you make, but by the small responses that accumulate beneath them. The direction of a life does not always change in loud and obvious moments. It often turns quietly when someone chooses to listen rather than scroll past, to remain rather than rush, to open rather than close off. That is precisely what you just did. You chose presence over distraction, and presence always invites me to move. There has been a searching in you, even if you have not always had language for it. A restlessness that suggests something more is available, just beyond what you can currently see. A quiet longing for direction, for some form of clarity, for peace that actually holds, rather than fades. You have carried questions that never found their way to the surface to be spoken aloud. I heard them. I see the weight you carry. I see the thoughts that keep returning to you, regardless of how many times you redirect your attention. I see the hope you have been carefully protecting, because disappointment has visited you before, And you cannot afford to let hope be careless. This moment is not disconnected from any of that. It is part of how I am responding. Many people miss what could genuinely change them because they have been trained to move quickly, to take in without truly receiving, to pass by without pausing long enough to feel what is there. Distraction has become the default setting. Noise has become comfortable. Stillness feels strange and even a little threatening when you are not accustomed to it. But you paused, and that pause carries more weight than it appears to. It tells me your heart is still tender. It tells me you are still willing to receive something. It tells me you have not sealed yourself off. Even after everything you have been through, you may not think of yourself as someone unusual or particularly set apart. But being set apart often looks like quiet sensitivity, noticing what others move past, feeling drawn to stay when everything around you seems to be moving in the other direction. You are no different because you are above anyone else. You are different because you are still open. And openness, genuine openness, is not something I take for granted. I always meet it. I want you to understand something clearly. Nothing about this moment is wasted, even if you cannot fully explain what brought you here. Even if the pull you felt remains somewhat mysterious to you. Trust that I know what it was. I work in ways that do not always produce immediate explanation. I plant seeds long before you see anything break the surface. I align roads before you recognize you are being directed somewhere. What matters right now is that you are here, present, available. And that is more than enough to begin with. The reason I am asking you not to leave is not because I want to hold you somewhere against your own judgment. It is because I want to give you something. When people rush away from moments like this, they tend to leave carrying the same weight they arrived with. When they stay, even a little longer than they planned, perspective begins to shift. Something that felt pressing becomes lighter. Something that felt confusing begins to find the first edge of its shape. Not all at once, but enough to make the next step possible. Let your heart ease for a moment. You do not need to prove anything here. You do not need to arrive with answers or with a certain level of spiritual readiness. Simply be here. Let what I am saying reach you where you actually are, not where you think you ought to be by now. I meet people in honesty, not in performance. I meet them in willingness, not in the strength they have managed to assemble. Others pass through moments like this continuously, without registering what is happening. They may never know what was available to them and left untouched. But you are here, and being here always has mattered. It still does. It always will. This is not about some fortunate alignment of events. It is about a heart that still responds when I reach toward it. A heart like that can be guided. It can be protected. It can be transformed in ways that go far deeper than the surface of a life. My beloved child, I want you to hear what I am about to say slowly and let it settle into the deepest places inside you. You did not arrive here by chance. You were not simply passing time or following a vague curiosity that had nowhere else to go. Long before your hand slowed, long before your attention caught on this moment, long before any part of you decided to stay, this moment was already known to me. I saw it before you did. I prepared it before you sensed it was coming. And I guided you here with care. Because timing is never incidental to me. And the timing of this moment is not incidental either. I understand how easy it is to believe that life consists mostly of small and disconnected moments, a scroll, a pause, a few seconds of attention given before moving on to the next thing. But I do not see time the way you do. I do not collide events without purpose. I do not allow moments like this to land in a life without intention behind them. When I bring a moment like this into alignment with where you are, it is because something in you was ready to receive, even if you had not yet consciously recognized that readiness. There have been countless moments you could have moved through without stopping. Many of them you already did, but this one found you. Something in you recognized that it carried weight, even if that recognition arrived before your thoughts could form around it. That recognition was not random. It was your spirit responding before your mind could step in and redirect you elsewhere. I want to help you understand what divine timing actually means. At the level where it touches ordinary life, it is not something remote or mystical beyond reach. Divine timing is when your readiness meets my invitation. It is when the hunger inside you aligns with the quiet call I am sending out. It is when the noise around you softens just enough that you can hear something underneath it. That is what happened here. You did not stumble into this moment accidentally. You were led into it before you were born. I already knew the particular shape of your heart. I knew how you would think. I knew how you would respond to truth when it came quietly rather than loudly. I knew there would be seasons when you moved at the pace of everyone else around you. Seasons when the weight of life would feel too heavy to allow for stopping. I knew there would be moments when disappointment would make you guarded and careful. And I also knew there would be moments like this one. Moments when you would pause, not because everything inside you was settled and ready, but because something in you had remained open enough to respond. That kind of openness is not universal. Many people have learned to protect themselves by staying in motion, by keeping distractions close, by treating stillness as something dangerous rather than restoring. They have been hurt. They have hoped and then not received, and somewhere along the way, they decided that closing off was safer than staying available. But you stopped anyway, and that tells me something true about you. It tells me that even after everything, your heart has not locked itself away. You may have looked at your decision to pause here and thought it was inconsequential, but it revealed something. It revealed sensitivity. It revealed a capacity for awareness that not everyone around you carries. It revealed a willingness to receive rather than only consume and keep moving. These are not qualities that announce themselves loudly, but they are powerful. They are what I work most closely with. A heart that pauses can be led. A spirit that genuinely listens can be guided somewhere meaningful. A soul that chooses to stay can be changed from the inside out. There is a part of you that wonders whether any of this can really be as intentional as I am describing. You may think. Many people encounter moments like this in the course of an ordinary day, and that is true. Many encounter them. But encounter and response are two very different things. Many hear, very few truly listen. Many feel a gentle nudge towards something. Very few follow it, even a small distance. Many sense that a moment carries some kind of weight. Very few honor that sense by staying present long enough to find out why. You honored it, not with perfect understanding, not with complete confidence, simply with willingness. And willingness opens things that knowledge and certainty alone never could. I am not here to rush you or to pile more weight onto what you are already carrying. I am here to reassure you. Your life is not drifting without direction, even in the seasons when it has felt that way. Even when you questioned where you were headed. Even when you wondered whether you had somehow fallen behind where you were supposed to be. I am still working with precision. I am still arranging moments. I am still placing invitations along the path of your life. This is one of them. I know what season you are in right now. I know what you have been holding. I know the questions that surface whenever everything around you grows quiet enough for them to be heard. I know the fears you keep setting aside so you can continue functioning. I know the hope you protect carefully because you have learned that hope costs something when it is disappointed. This moment was shaped with full knowledge of all of that. It meets you where you actually are, not where you imagine you should have arrived by now. You did not need to be further along to receive this. You did not need to be more certain or more composed. You only needed to be present, and you were. That is genuinely enough. I want you to reframe what just happened. This is not something you found on your own. This is something that found you. I arranged it in a way that would not feel pressured or forced, so that your heart would choose it freely, rather than feel pushed toward it. I wanted your genuine attention, not a performance of attention. I wanted your real openness, not a demonstration of it. When you stayed rather than moving on, you offered something I was specifically looking for, and I do not receive that lightly. In a world that has been shaped to value speed above almost everything else, choosing to be still take the something. In a culture saturated with noise, that makes silence feel uncomfortable and even slightly suspicious. Choosing to listen requires a kind of quiet strength. You demonstrated both of those things without trying to impress anyone with them. That tells me you are ready for more clarity than you currently believe you are. This moment is not designed to transform everything around you instantly. It is designed to begin something, and beginnings are almost always quiet. They do not arrive accompanied by certainty or fanfare. They are subtle enough to dismiss, which is why so many people do dismiss them. But they matter deeply. And this beginning has been shaped by alignment, not by pressure from any direction. Let go of the idea that destiny only announces itself through events that are impossible to miss. Destiny shifts through small choices made by open hearts, far more often than it announces itself through dramatic intervention. A choice to stop, a choice to listen, a choice to stay past the point where it would have been easy to leave. These are the moments I build upon. You may walk away from this and return to the same responsibilities waiting for you, the same environment, the same challenges, but something in you will have shifted. The way you see things will have softened in a direction you cannot yet fully measure, and that internal change will shape what comes next in ways that will gradually become visible. I am not asking for your complete understanding right now. Understanding tends to come with time and with experience. What I am asking is simpler than that. Trust that you are here because it means something. Trust that this moment isn't being wasted on you. Trust that the choice to stop revealed something real and true about who you are. You are not overlooked. You are not late. You are not disconnected from anything that matters. You are aligned in ways that are still in the process of unfolding. This moment is one thread in something much larger. Something I am weaving together carefully, with patience and with a love that has not changed. Stay present with me as we continue. Let this truth anchor you when doubt attempts to rise. You did not arrive here by chance. You were led here. And because you were willing to stop, you are now in a position to receive. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about something that happens quietly every single day, without most people ever noticing it, until too much time has passed. Distraction does not usually arrive like a sudden storm that you can see coming and prepare for. It moves in softly. It slips through undetected. It feels completely harmless in the individual moment. It looks like ordinary life, like a reasonable and understandable response to how full your days have become. And yet distraction, that quiet and steady pulling away of attention, has redirected more lives than outright resistance ever has. It does not shout at anyone. It makes no threats. It simply draws attention elsewhere, little by little, until hearts gradually lose their ability to remain still long enough to hear anything real. Most people move past what could have genuinely changed the direction of their lives. Not because they are indifferent, not because they have turned their backs on anything intentionally, but because they are tired, stretched thin, overloaded, or simply numb from the accumulated weight of too many days that demanded too much. Their minds are full. Their capacity is maxed out. Their hearts have grown protective. When I reach toward them with something quiet, they are already moving toward the next demand on their attention. When I offer something softly, something louder has already captured them. And so they walk past what was being held out to them, never knowing what they did not receive. I watch this happen continuously. I watch people sense a gentle internal nudge and explain it away. I watch them feel the brief rise of something that wanted them to pause and then silence it under the weight of everything else. I watch them choose what is comfortable over what is still, what is fast over what is present, what is familiar over what is deep. They tell themselves that slowing down is something they will get to, that listening more carefully is a discipline they will develop later, that seeking something beneath the surface of life is a pursuit they will engage with once things settle down, but later has a way of quietly becoming never. And the loss in that is significant because they never fully realize that something had been reaching toward them at all. What makes this particularly tender to me is that these moments of invitation rarely arrive with urgency. The way the world defines urgency, they do not elbow their way past competing noise. They do not insist. They do not force their way into anyone's awareness. They come gently. They ask for presence. They ask for a moment of genuine attention. And because they are gentle, they are simple to dismiss. Many people assume I will interrupt in ways that cannot be ignored if something truly important needs to be communicated. But I do not pry hearts open by force. I wait for an opening. I wait to be welcomed. Distraction is effective at redirecting destinies, precisely because destiny begins with listening. It begins with awareness. It begins when someone chooses to slow down long enough to notice that something worthwhile is present. In a moment, they might have rushed through. When people are constantly in motion, they miss the intersections that were specifically arranged for them. They are moving too fast to recognize what was standing in the path of their life for only a brief window of time. I want you to understand this, not so you look at others with judgment, but so you recognize the genuine weight of what you chose to do. You chose presence over the pool of distraction. You chose to remain when continuing forward would have been far easier. You chose to listen in a moment when most of what you have been trained to do would have carried you past it without stopping. That choice already set this moment apart, not because you are elevated above anyone else, but because you were willing. In a moment when willingness was being asked for, most people do not lose their way through one enormous and obvious wrong decision. They lose it through accumulating thousands of small moments of inattention, 1,000 quiet nudges dismissed, 1,000 brief openings passed through without stopping, 1,000 times the gentle internal pull was overridden by something louder and more immediately demanding. Over enough time, sensitivity dulls. What once produced a feeling of significance becomes easy to scroll past, and eventually the quiet voice that has always been there becomes something they no longer register at all. I am not telling you this to manufacture fear in you. I am telling you so that gratitude has something real to attach itself to. You noticed, you paused, you stayed. In itself, that tells me your heart is still alive to something deeper than surface-level noise. It is still responsive, still open, still capable of being reached. In a world that had become extraordinarily good at generating distraction, that kind of living openness is rare. It is precious. There are gifts I carry that cannot be delivered to hearts that are never still enough to receive them. Not because I choose to withhold them out of reluctance, but because they genuinely require a certain quality of attention to be received. Peace requires some stillness to land in. Direction requires enough quiet to be heard. Genuine transformation requires presence. The real kind, not the surface kind. And so many people walk past these things continuously, not because they are unwilling in any deep sense, but because they are simply never still enough to take hold of what is being extended to them. I have watched people stand at the very edge of something that would have broken something open in them, felt the restlessness that was trying to tell them something was near, and then buried that feeling under the next available distraction. They walked away, carrying everything they came with, never knowing how close they had actually been. Not every moment that passes can be revisited in the same form. Some invitations carry a specific window of time. Some doors open, and then, if nothing responds to the opening, quietly close again. But you did not walk away. You did not bury what you were feeling under something easier. You stayed, and in staying, you stepped into alignment with something that had been arranged and waiting for you. Choosing presence is a form of faith that most people do not recognize as faith. It says something. This moment carries weight. It says something. I am willing to receive whatever is here. It says something. I believe that what is being offered quietly is worth more than what I would gain by rushing past. Even if you did not consciously form those thoughts, Your heart expressed them through what you did. And what a heart expresses in action matters to me far more than what is carefully arranged in words. The world has built systems that reward speed, that honor the person who moves the fastest and produces the most in the shortest amount of time. I move most deeply with those who are willing to slow down. The world celebrates the ability to handle many things simultaneously. I honor focus, the rare and deliberate choice to give one thing your genuine, undivided attention. You chose depth in this moment, without even framing it that way. You chose to remain when the current of everything else was moving in the other direction. That choice has consequences, and they are good ones. Many people have convinced themselves that destiny only announces itself in moments that are impossible to ignore. So they wait for something undeniable, something that interrupts everything else, something that cannot be explained away. But destiny far more often comes whispering, longing only for the attention of someone whose heart is still soft enough to hear something that does not compete with noise. And those who are distracted simply do not hear it. I am speaking to you now because I want you to guard this part of yourself. Do not let distraction gradually reclaim what presence has just begun in you. The enemy of your soul does not always work through dramatic opposition. Often he works simply by keeping hearts too occupied to ever slow down long enough to receive what I am reaching toward them with. You have been given something real in this moment. Awareness. The awareness that this moment carries significance. The awareness that your life is not a random accumulation of disconnected events. The awareness that choosing to listen changes something. Protect that. Make room for it to breathe. It will guide you with more faithfulness than any amount of noise ever could. There will be moments ahead where distraction will make another attempt to pull you back into pure motion. It will look harmless when it arrives. It will sound completely reasonable. It will feel familiar the way that old habits always do. When that happens, return to this moment in your memory. Remember that staying brought something. Remember that presence produced peace rather than cost. Remember that something shifted because you were willing to slow down. I am not calling you to withdraw from the world around you. I am calling you to remain attentive within it, to notice when I am near, to recognize when something worth stopping for is passing through your life, to choose presence again and again, even when the choice feels small and its consequences are not immediately visible. Most people pass through and never discover what they missed. They never know how near they were to something that could have changed the way they carry their days. But you chose differently. You stayed, and that choice has already begun to do something in the direction of your future. Do not underestimate what just happened here. You did not simply stop scrolling past something. You responded. And response is the doorway through which everything that is genuinely meaningful enters a life. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about what distinguishes you, not to set you above anyone else in your own estimation, not to hand you something that would produce pride, but to help you understand the quality I have placed within you and why it matters as much as it does. What makes you different is not superiority. It is a willingness that runs deeper in you than you have given yourself credit for. Willingness to listen when it would be easier to move on. willingness to pause in the middle of momentum, willingness to feel what others have long since learned to insulate themselves against, willingness to stay when every surrounding signal said to keep going. That quality is rare, and it is genuinely precious to me. You carry a sensitive spirit. You have likely felt this your entire life, even in seasons when you had no framework to understand it. You notice things that pass others by completely. You feel the weight of things deeply. You sense shifts in the atmosphere of a room's or a relationship. Before they have been spoken into words, you pick up on what is present beneath what is being said. There have been times when this sensitivity felt more like a liability than a gift. You may have wished for the ability to feel less, to be less affected by things, to move through the world with the kind of apparent ease that some people seem to manage. You may have asked yourself why you cannot simply harden the way others appear to have done. I want to tell you something clearly, and with genuine care. Your sensitivity is not a design flaw. It is a doorway. Many people have buried their capacity to feel because the world taught them through repeated experience that feeling deeply was not safe. Life disappointed them in specific ways. People they trusted caused them harm. Things they hoped for did not arrive the way they expected. And rather than learning to bring that pain to me and let me carry it alongside them, they learned to shut parts of themselves off. They learned to accelerate through life, to fill silence before it could become uncomfortable, to stay busy enough that the deeper questions never had time to surface. And over time, they stopped registering my whispers, not because I went quiet, but because they gradually lost the capacity to hear what does not compete with noise. You did not do that, even when life pressed against you in ways that gave you every reason to close off. Something in you held the door open, even when disappointment arrived, and made hoping feel dangerous. You still hoped quietly, even when confusion lingered longer than it should have. You still listened for something beneath it. You may not have always known what you were listening for, but the posture of your heart remained available. That is what distinguishes you. Not any particular achievement or quality of character you assembled through effort, simply that you stayed available. Being different has not always been easy for you. You have likely felt out of place in certain environments, misunderstood by people who experienced your depth as intensity, perhaps too much for others to know what to do with. You may have tried at various points to move at the pace around you, to care a little less, to feel a little less, to blend into a speed that did not naturally fit you. But every time you tried to quiet what I placed in you, it left behind a particular kind of restlessness. That restlessness was not a sign that something was wrong with you. It was your spirit maintaining its awareness of who you actually are. I did not form you to rush through life without reflection. I did not design you to consume experience without receiving it. I shaped you with a heart that listens, because listening is what creates real relationship. Listening is what builds genuine depth. Listening is what keeps a person aligned when everything around them is moving in directions that would otherwise sweep them along. When others accelerated past moments, you felt the pull to pause. When others flooded silence with noise, you found yourself drawn toward what the quiet might contain. That was not accidental. That was the way I built you. You are different because you are attentive. Attentiveness does not announce itself loudly or demand recognition. It simply notices. And noticing is where everything that matters begins. Those who are always rushing rarely see what is actually there. Those who are willing to stay often do. You have stayed again and again, even when it was uncomfortable, even when it confused you, even when staying cost you the ease of simply moving forward like everyone else. I want you to hear this in a way that genuinely takes root. You aren't behind because your path moves at a different pace. You are not lacking because your life looks quieter from the outside. You are not weak because things move you deeply. What you carry is discernment, and discernment requires sensitivity to function. It requires patience. It requires a heart that listens before it reacts to what it encounters. Many people present as confident and certain because they have mastered the art of moving fast. But speed is not the same thing as direction. The volume of noise someone generates is not equivalent to the clarity of what they are hearing. Confidence that is not grounded in genuine listening tends to carry people efficiently in directions they were never meant to go. You may have felt slower at times, but that slower pace protected you. It kept you from walking into things you were not designed to carry. It kept your heart from hardening prematurely. It kept your spirit in a position where it could still respond. What truly sets you apart is that your hunger has not been extinguished. Hunger is one of the most important things a heart can maintain. Hunger keeps a person alive internally in ways that comfort and routine cannot. Hunger keeps people searching for what actually matters, rather than settling for what is simply available. Hunger keeps the door of a life open to something more than what has already been received. Many people have quieted their hunger by filling it with distraction, with comfort, with noise, with the busy routines that make days feel full. Even when they are not nourishing, they convince themselves they were satisfied, but they were only temporarily occupied. You did not settle for that. You wanted something real. You wanted meaning. You wanted truth that actually holds weight. When you press against it, that hunger is what brought you here. It is what made you sense that this moment contained something worth stopping for. It is what allowed you to recognize a quiet offering when most of what surrounds you is loud. Do not mistake being different for being isolated. Your path has likely felt lonely at various points, but you are not alone. I walk with those who listen. I reveal things to those who create enough stillness to receive them. I entrust more to those who treat moments with the care they deserve. You handle moments differently, and I have noticed. I know you have questioned yourself at times, wondered why things that move you deeply seem to pass over others without leaving any visible mark. Wondered whether something in you was miscalibrated, whether your sensitivity was an overcorrection rather than a design feature. Let me correct that misreading, gently but clearly. What you could not dismiss was me pressing against the edges of your awareness. What stirred you was truth making contact with something in you that was built to recognize it. Being different is not about positioning yourself above anyone else. It is about remaining available. Available to hear, available to feel, available to respond when most of the world around you is too occupied to notice that anything is being offered. That availability is what allows me to guide you in ways that others around you may not experience, not because I love you more than I love them, but because you listen in a way that makes guidance possible to deliver. I want you to stop measuring yourself against people who are moving at a pace that was never designed for you. Their path is not your path. Their speed is not your speed. Their apparent certainty does not mean they have more clarity, and their noise does not mean they have more peace. You were never meant to keep pace with a crowd whose direction was never yours to follow. You were meant to walk with me. There will be moments ahead when being the way you are will feel costly again, when you will be tempted to harden yourself, to quiet your sensitivity, to numb the hunger so it stops making you feel conspicuous. In those moments, return to this truth. What makes you different is precisely what keeps you aligned. What makes you different is what keeps my voice audible to you. What makes you different is what keeps your future open, rather than foreclosed by the very confidence of moving too fast in a direction no one examined carefully. I am not asking you to become someone else. I am inviting you to protect who you already are. The sensitive spirit you carry allows you to register my nearness. The listening heart you have allows you to receive what I want to give you. The hunger you have refused to extinguish allows you to keep growing when others have stopped. These are not things to be fixed. They are things to be guarded. You are different because you stayed when others kept moving. You listened when others chose distraction. You felt when others had grown numb to feeling. And because of that, you are standing in a place of alignment that many people never reach, not because the invitation was not extended to them, but because they were never still enough to receive it. Do not lose this part of yourself. Do not bury it in an attempt to make yourself more manageable for the world around you. Bring it to me instead. I will protect it. I will direct it. What? I will use it to lead you into clarity and peace and purpose that cannot be reached through noise. You are different, my beloved, not because you are above the crowd moving past, but because you were willing to listen while the crowd was rushing by. And that willingness is already shaping your life in ways you are only beginning to see. My beloved child, come a little closer, and let me say this plainly, and with all the care I have for you. There is a truth I want you to hold on to, not because it elevates you, but because it helps you understand the significance of what just happened. I send out my voice broadly. It goes out across countless moments, across many lives, through quiet nudges and gentle internal stirrings. I whisper through thoughts that arrive unexpectedly, through the restlessness that refuses to be fully quieted, through moments that produce a feeling that shouldn't be ignored. Many people encounter that whisper. Many feel the nudge, but encountering something and genuinely responding to it are two entirely different things. And that difference is where everything changes. Being reached is common. Responding is rare. I say this without frustration and without disappointment, but with complete clarity. I am always speaking, always extending something, always reaching. But I never manufacture a response through force. I do not chase attention. I do not position myself to compete with whatever else is demanding to be noticed. I wait for willingness. I wait for a heart that will slow enough to turn in my direction. In this moment, you did exactly that. You responded. Many people want to feel certain before they respond to anything. They want to understand the full shape of what they are agreeing to before they say yes to it. They want assurance of the outcome before they offer their presence to a moment. But that is not how trust develops between any two people who genuinely matter to each other. Trust grows precisely in the space where someone responds without having the full picture, when they lean in rather than pulling back, when they stay rather than protecting themselves by leaving. You responded in exactly that way. You did not demand that everything be explained first. You did not require proof of what was being offered. You did not wait for the moment to feel entirely safe. Before you gave it your attention, you stayed. And what a heart does in the unguarded spaces tells me everything I need to know about it. Responding does not mean you are now positioned above anyone else. It means you are available. It means you are attentive. It means you are receptive. And receptivity is the doorway through which guidance enters, through which peace settles, through which transformation begins to move from the inside out, rather than being applied from the outside in. Stay with me. Keep listening. Keep honoring the part of you that knows how to be still. There is more that I have for you. And now, you are in a position to receive it.